especially since shorts have launched. I'd really focus on like the viewership because subscribers aren't always going to translate into like if you got subscribers for shorts, they're not always going to want to watch long form or live streaming. So I try and just separate them, as Carol said, as like different products, different audiences. And with your short vertical live streams, I would try and make it an event for your viewers to like want to attend. So like utilize things like the community tab and make a post like, "Hey, I'm going live." This
What is going on? It's my first time going live on YouTube in like 6 months. I figured we go live, answer some of your questions, and see what's up. Um, you should go live over on TikTok, so this is definitely interesting.
for those
There's no one
viewers.
on right now.
But I'd say focus more on like the viewership over the subscriber count, because some of those subscribers might not even watch live streams at all.
All right, I'll try that. One other quick question, if it's okay. Um, is it typical to see about a 12 to 14 hour delay in being able to
There's one
edit
person in the
or
chat. Say, oh, hi. I guess you get a one on one with me for a little bit. Now there's two. Hi, guys. I haven't done a live on YouTube like this, so I figured let's talk. Let's see what's up. Do you guys have any questions? Let me know. We talk about the news. John's here. Hey, John. How you doing? You have any news questions? It's literally just you and I in this live, so you can ask me anything. I'll be happy to answer it for you, which is quite rare. Usually we have hundreds and hundreds of people, so. I'm going to get ready to put my news report together. You have any questions, John? Let me know. I said before, this is the first time I'm doing a live like this. Does it even show up? I don't even know how lives work on YouTube like this. Let's see, we got 5 people on. Hey, everyone. It is super hot in my house with all my lights on. We could talk about. John says, always listen to your YouTube and TikToks, and your volume always comes in lower than most. You know what's weird? And I don't know why. So, if you actually don't know this, I am an executive audio producer. Which for you to say that my audio is bad is a very, very bad situation for an audio producer. And I would like to fix this problem because I have tried many things to try to get it fixed. Let me show you my setup and then we can kind of walk through and see whether or not there's something wrong here. Because I have an RE320. This is what we use in radio here in New York City or just America in general. It's really 2 different kind of microphones. You've got Shure microphones, SHURE. I have an RE320. There are other brands out there. You know, you can go to Newman's and things like that, but we're not recording professionally in the sense of musicians and things. So this is what I use. And then you have to run it through an interface, an audio interface. And so this is my audio interface. And in running this, I've got my audio coming through. I split it into 2 different channels because previously we had issues in which the audio was great and then something happened with the iPhone in which then it wound up being that it was only coming through one side of the phone, the speakers. So once the audio gets to the audio interface, it should be enough dB to push the audio through. Difference is that you can't typically put your phone straight into from an audio interface, though Shure has given us one. But even when you use stuff like this, power needs to get to the microphone somehow. So I use an external adapter, which the blue one plugs into the wall outlet, and then this one plugs into my phone. And so in doing that, I don't know what else to do. The gain is up all the way. We are, I mean, I can't go any louder than this because then it starts clipping. Clipping is when audio in a waveform gets to a top of a wave and goes past the point in which audio is able to be produced cleanly. And so when it hits that top ledge, instead of it going up and sounding clear, it just pops out. So it clips off the top. And so long story short, this is the loudest it can go without me like screaming into my microphone. There are things called preamps that you can use to help raise up the dB. I'll probably buy one of those. But it's an issue I've been dealing with. That's kind of just one of those things that kind of is what it is. So hopefully that helps. We can, you know what, John, if you're still here, we could try something. We could try to disconnect the microphone and then from there, stop splitting the audio and run it through and see if it sounds cleaner. Run it through as mono, because right now it is stereo, which makes no sense when you've got one microphone. So let me, you say it's not a big deal, but I promise you every single comment in all of my videos is that the audio is really bad. But let's try this. I'm going to disconnect my phone. So now you're hearing the audio from my phone. I don't know, is the audio from my phone that much better? That's the question. We're going to disconnect and get rid of it. I dropped my phone. How about that? How about that? We're going to disconnect my phone, plug it in as mono, or at least it should have came in through as mono. We're going to give it a second. Let's let the process run the audio through the system and then tell me, wait for it, is this better? Is it only coming through one channel? Meaning if you have headphones on, are you only hearing it through the left ear? Because if you're hearing it and it sounds like crap, then that's a problem. I can hear it on my end if I go onto my live stream.
It's all like a case-by-case basis. So sometimes it can end up where that user will be terminated.
One second. How does that sound? Any better or does it sound worse? It sounds a lot worse. But is it coming through loud? That's the question. Because it's clipping on my end here. That's the max we're going and it's clipping. So I have to lower that down so it doesn't clip. So what I want to do is buy an audio interface. And the audio interface should bring it up like 25 dB, which should be the normal audio. Now, the question is, do we do a phantom power? Not necessarily to the microphone. So now the question is, does this work properly on TikTok? It's a different world. Check. There we go. Now it doesn't clip anymore. So there we go. We spent 10 minutes talking about microphones. We'll see if it changes anything, but I'll buy an audio interface. I'll buy a preamp, run this cable through a preamp, and then we'll see if that does anything. So hopefully that answers your question. Does anyone have any world news questions? I'm going to probably record a long form video and get it online. Oh, here we go. I'm doing an interview with a congressman tomorrow. I will start my pre-production work on that. So that is going to be with Congressman Landsman, Greg Landsman. So we're going to talk about the big, beautiful bill. We're going to talk about, he's in Ohio, for those who don't know. We're going to talk about Ukraine, because now we're going to be seeing bills hit the floor, hopefully by the end of the month. And Greg is someone who obviously is on board for that. So, does anyone have any other questions before I skedaddle? I figured I would go live and just talk to you guys for a bit. So, wait a few more seconds to see if anyone's going to write in. But all right, well, guys, I'm going to skedaddle. Or now there's 12 people on. I don't know. What would you guys like to talk about? The news? Because that's what we're about the news. We know Zelensky right now is meeting with a lot of world leaders and a lot of figureheads in Rome. He met with the Pope. He met with the Prime Minister. He's now meeting with Kellogg, aka the U.S. envoy to peace negotiations. And this whole stuff that went down with Pete Hegseth and what we ultimately found out to be is the fact that Pete Hegseth lied, didn't really get any permission from folks. So it's just, there's a lot that's been happening here. I'm debating whether or not I want to go live for like a regular video and see how that works. I'm just testing out this stuff. So always interesting, always interested to try out new things. And this is something new. I might want to try to do more lives in this manner. But anyway, I'm going to go. You guys have been awesome. I'm still learning YouTube. So I appreciate you guys who came with me for this little experiment. I'll see you guys later. Bye.